So, Slick, let's start with you. Are you sold on the Bucs as Super Bowl contenders?
I am not sold on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as contenders for three reasons. Number one, it's because of what the Bucs are right now. Two, because of what the NFC is right now. And three, what history tells us. Now, if I'm saying that I believe that they're Super Bowl contenders, that means that I expect them to win the NFC. And as of right now, they don't look to me like a team capable of winning the NFC. They're not as good as their record would suggest. Last in passing defense, rushing offense, a problem. And when I look at the NFC, it is stacked. It is loaded. We've got the Rams are legit. The Cardinals are legit. The Green Bay Packers are still legit. Hold on to your seat, Bucky Brooks. The Dallas Cowboys are legit. So when I look at who they have to get through, and I look at the way those teams are composed, particularly their passing offenses, and I look at how, Tampa Bay's passing defense wasn't good a year ago, and they won the Super Bowl. They're worse now, and I ultimately don't see it getting better. So when I put all that together, along with the historical fact that we've only seen one team repeat as NFC champion in the last 20 years, and that was the young, hungry, defensive-minded Seattle Seahawks, I simply can't look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and say that I expect them to win the NFC again.
Oh, nice thesis there. I like how you came out. You had it lined items, 7 years ago. I mean, look, Slick, I love it. It was poetic, waxing poetic, but, man, flawed in the logic. Of course the Tampa Bay Bucs are Super Bowl contenders. Let's just start here. I don't know. Are they the reigning Super Bowl champions? Yes. Are they a better team than they were last year? In many categories, you could actually say yes. Let's start on the side where everyone's curious, the defensive side. Are they good enough on defense right now? Well, that run defense certainly is. It's number one in the NFL, and it is better than it was even last year at a historical pace. We're talking about 2000 Baltimore Ravens pace in terms of them in their run defense. Now, the pass defense is compromised largely just because it's a mash unit right now in terms of injuries. But those guys will return and return back to form. They have the second best odds by Fox Bet. Only the Buffalo Bills have better odds in terms of returning and winning to the Super Bowl. So if you look at that, the team that won last year looks better in many categories, especially offensively. Let's talk about Tom Brady looks better this year than he did at this time last year. Let's talk about the fact that you look at a team that's third in scoring this year, but they bumped up the amount of points that they're scoring this year. It just all adds up to a team that looks like it's in the same position that, oh, by the way, returned every single starter from a Super Bowl championship team. So what do they say in boxing? To beat the champ, you got to knock the champ out? Well, who in the hell is going to knock the champ out? There are a bunch of teams out there, a bunch of contenders that may try to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, staying in our boxing analogy, on the scorecards. But who's going to knock them out? That's the problem. Every team we're going to mention, I will predict will flinch or blink in those magic moments that Tom Brady would never do. Tom Brady's the last quarterback we've seen go back-to-back. Tom Brady has been in 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls. I repeat, 4 of the last 5 Super Bowls. Hell yeah, his team's a contender again.
Yeah, no, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are certainly a contender. They're a team that looks like the front runner. When you watch them play, the game is very easy for them. I felt like they were bored against the Philadelphia Eagles last night. They just kind of didn't take them seriously. It was kind of like a cat playing with their food, to use a Giannis reference. They didn't really take care of business, but whenever they needed to, they certainly showed you that they have all the capabilities, particularly on offense. Tom Brady's playing at a high level, probably some of the best football that we've seen from him in the last couple years. You look at all the weapons they have around him, Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, you think about Chris Godwin, Leonard Fournette running the ball well, which gives them another dimension to the offensive line, protecting well. Defensively, Marcellus alluded to the run defense. They force you into long yardage situations because you can't run the football. So everything is there. Now, they're not a team without question because I do worry about load management when it comes to Tom Brady. I worry about the secondary holding up. But even with those concerns, they still are head and shoulders above the other teams in the NFC right now.
Woo! You know what? This is why it's important that I am with my astute NFL colleagues, because what I just heard was a lot of the Tom Brady haze. The Tom Brady just never fails. Tom Brady, it's Tom Brady. He's always there. It's always going to happen. Doesn't matter what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad, Marcellus, that you brought up, I believe you said, it appears that the offense is even better, or Tom Brady appears that he's even better than he was last year. Well, sometimes appearances can be deceiving based on who you are playing. And my concern isn't just with their passing defense. It's also a question of, is that passing offense really as good as we think it is based on how it's ranked and Tom Brady's numbers? Can we take a look at the actual competition that they've faced so far?
We're doing that.
And what those past defenses were like? Like, can we just take a look at who they've gone up against here? And who have they struggled against when they have faced a quality pass defense? Because that rushing offense hasn't been what it was a year ago. So when you look at what they did against the New England Patriots, struggled mightily. And both, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, the Cards and the Packers both have top 10 pass defenses. I would imagine one or both of those teams are going to be standing in their way to get there. So, look, are they capable of going to the Super Bowl? Yes, they're capable. But do I expect them at this point? No, because I'm taking away the Tom Brady haze. I'm taking a clear-eyed view of exactly who the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have shown me to be to this point in the season. And I would give you that playing with their food, Super Bowl hangover. I'll give you that against Dallas. I'll give you that the first couple weeks. They've continued to look like there's a lethargy there with this team. And it may just be something a little bit more than a hangover.
Wow. So you don't want to just subscribe to the Tom Brady haze, huh? With the puff pass. Give me some of that purple.
I do not want to just assume that Tom Brady is going to do it all over again.
He's been in 4 of the last 5. That ain't even an assumption. That's just the knowledge right there that Tom Brady is the dude in this certain situation. Look, passer rating's better for Tom Brady than last year, but you call that haze. Okay. Completion percentage is better this year than last year, but you call that haze. Okay. Yards per game is better this year. He can't do the schedule and beat everybody. He can't do both.
I know. Well, I'm just saying. I'm just poking a hole in the number. I'm not saying that it's not what it is. I'm just saying, how did he get there?
Okay, passing touchdowns projected to do more, 45 this year versus 40 last year. But since you want to poke holes, let's poke holes at the other teams. Because you're probably going to sit there and say the Cardinals. Well, they rank 29th in rush defense, so how they going to get off the field? Team's going to run the football on them. And don't lie, Slick. You know they going to blink one time in the playoffs. I don't know when, I don't know how, and I don't know how long their eyes going to stay closed, but they blinking. The Rams, that defense, total defense 23rd, pass defense 23rd, 30th on defense, third down, can't get off the field. They got problems as well. The Chiefs, should we just go on? They're scoring defense, bottom of the pile right now, 31st. Patrick Mahomes is pressing, turning the ball over, issues over there. Even my Chargers I love my Chargers, ranked last in rush defense as well. Bills look strong, top 10, both sides. We respect them. But just 2 playoff wins in the last quarter of a century. Are they ready? They got close. Are they ready to go over that hump as well? You can't poke holes at the Bucs. Last year, we poked holes at the Bucs because we didn't know what we were witnessing. We didn't know what was happening with the Tampa Bay Bucs. 7-5 team, getting spanked twice by the New Orleans Saints. We're like, what is this team? And all of a sudden, they just ran the table. They have won 13 of their last 14 games, Slick. 13 of their last 14 games, Slick, by the tune of 14 points a game. They're not playing games. The same team that won it all last year came back and still hungry because they got the same leader that won it back-to-back last time.
Look, Marcellus, I agree with you on those points when you talk about they are playing at a high level. 13 out of their last 14. I'm telling you, Slick, and you watch the NBA all the time. It's kind of like watching the Golden State Warriors in the middle of that run. Some of those regular season games, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, just kind of checking out, just trying to fast forward and get to the postseason. And so when I look at the Buccaneers, there is a little bit of that boredom. They started out hot. They sized up the Philadelphia Eagles, and they tasted their power and they said, they can't knock us out. So, I mean, we can play around and mess around. If we have to go 12 rounds to knock them out, we will, and that's what happened. But it wasn't a game that was really as close as the scoreboard indicated. And when I look at this schedule, man, I'm trying to sit here and see the Bears, the Saints, the Washington football team, the Giants. Who is going to knock them off? We don't really get another real contest into the Buffalo Bills in Week 14, and then they close out the season with division rivals. Man, we're talking about a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that maybe finishes with 2 losses, home field advantage. They have to win 2 to go to the show. Or if that is the case, you can pencil them in because Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're going to be there because Tom Brady knows how to get it done when he's given that opportunity.
Bucky, I'm glad you brought up the schedule because this is another element that I do feel is different, and I'm not going to argue with you. The Buccaneers' schedule looks very advantageous for them. But we've seen them struggle against lesser teams, which makes me question, okay, so are they going to drop a couple? And when I look at the other teams that I talked about, they have just as much of a chance of running away with their division as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do. The Dallas Cowboys certainly have the ability to do that. The Green Bay Packers, from what we've seen, have the ability to do that. Cardinals, Rams, that's going to be a dogfight, but right now the Cardinals are proving themselves to be the class of that division. So that certainty that I might have said going into the season that the Buccaneers would have as far as the rest of their division, I don't see that. I don't know that they're going to have that first week bye. I don't know that they're necessarily going to have home field advantage. And again, I look at everything that they've done to this point. Last year, I understood the slow start. You're bringing all these new pieces together. Tom Brady's got to get acclimated. I get it. There's really no reason for a slow start this year. I get the hangover aspect, not against the competition that they've played against. So I understood. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been there. They have done that. You guys conveniently only mention the teams that are newcomers, the Cowboys and the Cardinals in terms of the teams, or the Rams in terms of the teams that might blink. But there's a couple of other teams that have demonstrated that they're right there. And if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall off just a little bit, I still like the Green Bay Packers' chances of reversing what happened a year ago.
Boy, you say we in the haze. Sound like you in the haze, too. Up in that Bay Area, it's legal. Because what the hell? You talking about slow start. How many games have the Buccaneers lost this year? Slick, you got to pick a side now. You say slow start, and they are tied in the NFL for the most wins.
Have they played well? Have they played like Super Bowl champs up to this point? I said the record's not reflective of how they've played. You have to agree with me on that. You guys keep telling me there's this lethargy, they're sleepwalking, they're playing with their food, but they're Super Bowl champs.
No.
You talk about picking a side. You pick a side. Are they playing like Super Bowl champions or are they not?
They are actually playing like Super Bowl champs. You know why? Because they got a bullseye on their back. Every team that they face is coming at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers like it's their Super Bowl on Sunday. Tampa Bay like, yo, it's just week 3. It's week 4. And y'all over here acting like we over there at SoFi in February. Okay. Fine. We're going to play with our food. We're going to get the W, but we're going to make y'all feel good in the process. It's the same thing that happened, Slick, when I raced my little son, little MJ, little 6-year-old. Yeah, he fast for a 6-year-old. Just like everybody in NFL is a good team. All black belts. Look, former collegiate All-Americans and first-rounders and #1 picks. Ain't nobody sorry in the NFL. However, there are levels to this. So when I race my son, MJ, I don't beat him by 100 meters in the 100-meter dash. It looks close, right? You know, make him feel good. But I still get that W, just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No matter who they face, sometimes it looks a little close. But they get those W's. You got to respect what they're doing right here, Slick. Last year, the defense led the charge as the offense was shoring up and figuring it out. This year, it's a seesaw effect. They just flipped it. All right, offense, y'all look better this year than we do. But we're going to get healthy on the back end. We already look amazing up front. Our front seven balling out of control. And you know we're going to stop the other teams from running the football. So that means we're going to win time of possession. Well, that means Tom Brady's going to get more opportunities. And that's why Tom Brady's out there clicking like he is. All of that adds up to not only Super Bowl contenders again, but if Tom Brady has his way like he did in 03, 04, sounds like back-to-back Super Bowl champions.